Hi, my name is Dan Oddy.
And I'm Andy Stapp.
And today we're going to show you how to install the SpeedRay front suspension for your C2, C3 Corvette. With the stock front suspension and steering system removed, check the flatness of the factory lower control arm brackets with the cradle adapter plates. Grind the factory lower control arm brackets to remove any burrs or excess weld. Position the cradle adapter plates to the factory lower control arm brackets and make sure all three mounting holes line up. Install the cradle adapter plates using the provided 7/16 hardware and the factory lower control arm mounts. Use medium strength blue Loctite on the threads. Install the provided 9/16 hardware through the factory rear lower control arm mount. Use anti-seize on the threads of these bolts. Torque the 7/16 hardware to 70 foot-pounds and the 9/16 hardware to 95 foot-pounds. Bolt the front cradle to the cradle adapter plates and through the frame using provided 7/16 hardware. Make sure the cradle sits flush against the adapter plates. On later C3 chassis, the center mounting holes may need to be located and drilled out. With the cradle centered in the vehicle, locate the 4 mounting holes. Center punch and drill out the 4 locations for the 7/16 hardware. Chamfer the holes when finished. Reinstall the cradle to the adapter plates using the provided 7/16 hardware. Use medium strength blue Loctite on the threads of the fasteners that are installed into the adapter plates. Use anti-seize on the threads of the fasteners that are installed with the provided nylock nuts. Center the cradle and tighten all hardware. Torque the 4 fasteners in the adapter plates to 65 foot-pounds and torque the fasteners with the nylock nuts to 45 foot-pounds. Install the Detroit Speed lower control arms into the cradle using the provided 9/16 hardware. Make sure you have the correct control arm on each side of the cradle. Use anti-seize on the threads of the fasteners before installing. Torque the 9/16 hardware to 95 foot-pounds. Hi, my name is Dan Oddy, Engineering and Technical Sales with Detroit Speed, and today we're going to show you how to center up your rack and pinion before you install it in the vehicle. That way, when it's underneath there and you put your steering column in and your steering wheel, you'll be that much closer to having everything lined up right off the bat. So the first thing we want to do is take a Sharpie or a paint pen and mark a line right on the input shaft. Paint pens are nice because then once it's up under the vehicle, you can see the marks a lot better just to verify your alignment. So now we want to turn it all the way to one way. And then make a mark on the housing right in line with the input shaft. Then we'll turn it the other way. There's one lap. We'll go till it stops right there. Then we'll make another mark on the housing where we landed the other way. So now we want to go back and land right in the middle. So we'll move that line in the input shaft so it's right centered up between your 2 marks. You just put a mark in there just so you know that it's centered. Next, install the outer tie rods onto the rack and pinion. Start by threading the grease fittings into the tie rods. Install the 9/16 jam nuts onto each end of the tie rod ends on the rack and pinion. Apply anti-seize to the threads. Position the jam nut 1 inch from the end of the threads and install the outer tie rod. Make sure there are equal distance on each side. Install the rack and pinion assembly into the cradle mounts. Use the provided 1/2 inch hardware with the 1 5/8 washers. Apply anti-seize to the fasteners and torque the hardware to 85 foot-pounds. Install the Detroit Speed upper control arms to the factory upper control arm mounts. Use anti-seize on the threads and install the provided fasteners. Make sure you have the correct arm on the correct side of the cradle. Before you tighten the hardware, place 2 of the provided 1/8" shims between the upper control arm cross shaft and the upper control arm mount. Torque the upper control arm fasteners to 55 foot-pounds. Next, install the sway bar composite bushings into the sway bar bracket. You may need to use soapy water on the outside of the bushings to press them into the brackets. Lube the inside of the composite bushings with the provided super grease. Make sure you fill the interior bushing grooves. Slide both sway bar bracket assemblies onto each end of the sway bar. Make sure the flange of the composite bushings are facing each other. Bolt the sway bar bracket assemblies to the factory sway bar mounts into the frame with the provided 5/16 hardware. Use medium strength blue Loctite on the threads of the bolts. Torque the 5/16 hardware to 25 foot-pounds. Center the sway bar in the frame. Measure the splined end past each bushing and adjust the position of the bar until the measurement is the same on both sides. You should have about 1 3/4 inches of the bar sticking out on each side. Install the provided sway bar split lock collars. Apply medium strength blue Loctite to the threads. Position them tight to the bushings and make sure the grooved side of the collar is toward the center of the vehicle. Torque the fasteners to 14 foot-pounds. Install the sway bar arms to the sway bar. Make sure both arms are positioned on the same spline. Bolt the arms in place with the provided 3/8 fasteners. Apply medium strength blue Loctite and torque the retaining bolts to 30 foot-pounds. Next, install the spindle assemblies to the upper control arms. Position the upper ball joint stud so their cotter pin locates front to back. Tighten the upper ball joint castle nut. Place a spindle on the lower control arm ball joint. Install a lower ball joint castle nut and washer using high strength red Loctite on the threads of the lower ball joint. Torque the upper ball joint castle nut to 40 foot-pounds. Make sure the castle nut slot lines up with the cotter pin hole. Install the cotter pin. Torque the lower ball joint castle nut to 20 foot-pounds plus 180 degrees, making sure that the castle nut slot lines up with the cotter pin hole. Install the cotter pin. Insert the outer tie rod ends onto the steer arms. Apply anti-seize to the threads and torque the castle nut to 35 foot-pounds. Make sure the castle nut slot lines up with the cotter pin hole. Install the cotter pin. Install the sway bar end links to the lower control arms. Use the provided M12 flange lock nuts using high strength red Loctite on the threads of the end links and torque to 45 foot-pounds. Next, you will need to build the coilover shocks and spring assemblies. Remove the retaining ring with a set of pliers and install a Torrington bearing set. Install the coilover spring over the top of the shock. Place the upper spring perch over the shock and reinstall the retaining ring. Identify the left and right hand coilover upper mount assembly. They are labeled with an L and an R for left and right hand side. Thread the provided 5/8 nylock onto the shocks and tighten. Hold the shock from turning with a 1/2" wrench while tightening the nylock nut. Place one of the provided 1/2" washers over the stud on the upper mount, followed by one of the stamped washers and then a polyurethane grommet. The small step diameter will be pointing up. Position the shock assembly up to the lower control arm and into the upper shock mount. The Schrader valve in the shock body should be pointed to the center of the vehicle. Make sure the upper mount is in the correct orientation so it fits into the stock upper spring pocket. Install another polyurethane grommet with the small step diameter pointing down, followed by another stamped washer over the upper shock mount stud against the upper control arm mount. Use the provided 3/8 nylock nut to tighten the upper mount stud. Do not over tighten. The polyurethane should start to compress when the nut is tight enough. Repeat this procedure for the other shock assembly. Position the shock body side of the shock to the lower control arm shock mount. Install the provided 3/4 lower shock spacer through the provided 1/2 inch fastener. Install the bolt and spacer to the lower shock mount and shock eyelet. Apply anti-seize to the threads and torque the 1/2 inch hardware to 70 foot-pounds. Repeat this procedure for the other shock assembly.